CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening. We begin tonight with a pair of fires that kept first responders quite busy. The first on North Service Road near the Easy Row Expressway that caused hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage. Firefighters responding to the blaze around 4:30 this afternoon in the 5500 block. Fire officials say the fire was out within 1 hour. Total damage estimate is $325,000 to two structures, railroad equipment, a hydro pole, among other miscellaneous equipment. The cause has not been released. A few hours earlier, a fire in Amherstburg in the 100 block of McBride Avenue that has now displaced a family of 4. Firefighters were met with heavy smoke coming from a two-story home around 2:30 in the afternoon. Officials report multiple firefighters experienced heat-related injuries while operating at the scene, and one firefighter sustained a minor separate injury as well. Cause and damage estimate are unknown at this time. We're also learning more about the Gordie Howe International Bridge and specifically the status of American customs officers. It came up at a recent Senate appropriations hearing in Washington, D.C.
Is DHS and specifically CBP prepared right now to facilitate trade and travel at the bridge?
Yes, we are. Once again, we have the personnel dedicated, ready to move. The contractor hasn't signed off on final stuff. He had a deadline the 1st of May. He didn't make that deadline, so we're still waiting on that to take place.
Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullins says they are ready to go pending a final agreement between Canadian and American officials. Customs and Border Protection had previously declined to comment when CTV News asked for a status update. The Canada Border Services Agency confirmed months ago their staff are also ready to go. Meantime, the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority continues to maintain the bridge will open in the spring of 2026, which ends in just 17 days. At that Senate hearing, Democratic Senator for Michigan, Gary Peters, says the Americans, with one exception, are excited about the bridge opening.
Right now, everybody is excited about it across business, all sectors of Michigan's economy and the Midwest. The only person that I know, there's one billionaire that's against it, and that's a person who owns a competing bridge, a private bridge that's competing. Other than that, there's just universal support.
A Windsor pediatrician has now been suspended for 8 months for accessing data of newborn babies. Dr. Omar Afandi was suspended as of today, again for 8 months. The College of Physicians and Surgeons Discipline Tribunal found his actions to be disgraceful, dishonorable, and unprofessional. Dr. Afandi accessed the personal information of 146 newborn males between April 18th and May 7th of 2024. The CPSO says he then transferred that information to his personal cell phone and contacted their parents to offer circumcisions at his private clinic. The college says that is professional misconduct. Dr. Afandi has already admitted to his actions and has already been fined $8,000 by the Information and Privacy Commissioner. Preliminary work is now underway for the construction of a new long-term care home in East Windsor. The project significantly behind schedule and over budget. Banwell Gardens Care Center will be built across from its current site on Banwell Road, just south of Tecumseh Road East. According to officials, price tag is now estimated at $90 million, a $50 million jump from the 2020 price tag of $40 million, due to factors like supply chain disruptions related to COVID-19. The facility is now scheduled to open in the summer of 2028. As of June 3rd, officials state that there were many steps involved in the redevelopment of the long-term care home and require many levels of approvals. They add the process took much longer than expected. Could government-run grocery stores help make food more affordable? A new poll suggests many Canadians are skeptical of the idea. But as grocery prices continue to strain household budgets, some Windsor residents say they're willing to consider any option that could lower costs. Here's CTV's Chris Campbell.
Leger poll commissioned by the Canadian Taxpayers Federation found 45% of Canadians believe government-run grocery stores aren't a bad idea, while 33% support the concept and 22% remain undecided.
Yeah, grocery prices are getting high, so they may want to do something about that, and, you know, that could be a good first step.
But among Windsor shoppers, opinions are mixed.
I would trust their intentions and the government's intentions, but I don't know if I'd trust the efficacy of the program.
So if the government can get on board with that and open up a place that isn't going to skyrocket the prices of what we purchase, our goods and whatnot, and then I'm all for it.
With food costs remaining a challenge for many households, some residents say they'd support government-run stores if they actually lowered prices.
Oh, 100%. If they can compete with like no frills and things like that, 100%.
I don't buy meat half the time, and it still costs me a couple $100.
Food policy expert Sylvain Charlebois says the idea shouldn't be dismissed outright, but argues it's being promoted for the wrong reasons.
I think the model has merit, but you want to implement a model like that for the right reasons. And right now, all I'm hearing are the wrong reasons.
Charlebois says government-run grocery stores may make sense in northern communities or areas considered food deserts, but warrants competing directly with the private sector has often failed elsewhere.
I think it might be okay. It would just depend on if they're going to actually lower the price like they said they're going to, or it's just something that the government always says they're going to do and never ends up doing.
Meanwhile, Windsor residents say affordability remains their biggest concern.
They're extremely high, and I don't know how people are getting by. It's like you got to cut back on everything.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
It certainly feels like summer out there, and with post-secondary graduations underway and high school students weeks away from break, many are thinking about summer jobs. CTV's Travis Fortnum tonight taking a look at the youth job market.
Summer break is almost here, and thousands of Windsor-Essex students are getting ready to hit the job market. The good news, experts say finding work this summer could be a little easier.
This summer's job market should be a little bit better than what it was last year.
Workforce Windsor-Essex says economic uncertainty and tariff concerns caused many employers to take a cautious approach to hiring last year. This year, CEO Justin Falconer says there may be less competition for some positions.
Because there's a lot less international students. And so for domestic students, that means there's less competition.
But even if there are more opportunities available, getting an interview isn't always easy. At the YMCA of Southwestern Ontario, Ray Kerniawan helps young job seekers navigate the process.
Supporting them with kind of that skill development and knowing how to search for jobs and knowing how to integrate into that workforce.
One question many parents still have, whatever happened to walking into a business with a paper resume?
So we do encourage that. We encourage still meeting face-to-face with a hiring manager or a supervisor just to establish that professionalism.
He says, however, it's important to follow the application process of the business, even if that means applying online. And when you do, be wary of the fact that these days, many applications never reach a human being.
There are systems in place that employers use to filter out candidates that may not be a good fit with the use of AI.
Kerniawan says job seekers should study the posting carefully and make sure their resume matches the skills and qualifications employers are looking for.
We always recommend using the job description or job posting to identify what those keywords are, the skills that are required for that specific position, and including that into their resumes or their application.
And for students applying for their very first job,
volunteering opportunities, and that's also a great way to highlight that you have work experience, just maybe not paid work experience.
Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
A new fashion hub is launching in Windsor's Walkerville neighborhood, aimed at supporting local designers filling a gap left by the suspension of St. Clair College's fashion program. Fashion Week Windsor-Essex is behind the initiative, offering shared workspace, industry equipment, and feature workshops. Organization chair and former college instructor Lori Moore says the space gives designers access to tools and room to create. And the 2026 CAA Worst Roads list is out, and only one road in Windsor made the list. Riverside Drive East was 4th in the southwestern region. Hamilton was named home of the worst road in Ontario for a 3rd time. CAA says the 2026 list reflects feedback from thousands of Ontarians who experience the province's road every day and highlights the roads drivers say need urgent repair. Across both the city and province, road users commonly cited potholes, poor maintenance, and uneven surfaces as top concerns affecting safety and mobility. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time.
They will now have their fingerprints in photos taken digitally, and it essentially will replace the old passport stamp that we're used to on our passports.
Still ahead, a warning to Canadians heading to Europe this summer. Plan ahead as new mandatory enter-exit rules are in place. Gary joins us now for an extended look at the forecast. Gary.
Stefanie, my friend, I think the next couple of days will be in a bit of a transition. Still warm, yes. Still lovely tomorrow to start things off. But by the evenings, around supper time, it just so happens, 6, 7, 7:30 p.m. we'll be into some showers, I think. Today's high of 30 degrees, almost 31 in the great city of Windsor, Ontario. Several degrees above seasonal. And the lows are getting warmer. Today's low of 13 was seasonal, what we would expect. I think tonight, well, technically tomorrow's low, I should say. Tomorrow's low before dawn, closer to about 17, 18. We are in the midst of high pressure, so that's why we get the circulation coming over this way, right? Clockwise. Counterclockwise circulation with low pressure, and a low is pushing through northwestern Ontario. Ahead of it, that cold front sweep, and that's where the showers lie. It looks like the timing comes in late in the afternoon, increasing cloudiness, say about 3, 4 p.m. By 5, maybe 6, some of those showers, maybe even some light thunderstorm activities pushing over parts of upper Michigan, over Lake Huron. So the worst of it could be just to the north end working its way east of us. But by 7, 8 p.m., I think we're in some showers as the tail end of that cold front sweeps through our neck of the woods. And there it is, at least projected through to about 5 p.m. So 7, 8, 9, rainy. Tomorrow during the daytime is still lovely. And I mentioned it being warm tomorrow morning before sunrise. Take a look, 17 projected. I think some areas will be 18. 18 during the day would be quite nice, right? Below seasonal for this time of the year, but still lovely to be outdoors. So here's the breakdown for tomorrow. Your Friday is warm to start. Already 20 degrees at 8 a.m. The winds dominate out of the southwest. That's a warm flow. We'll reach about 30, 31, say about 3 or 4 p.m. and then start to cool off just a bit. But either way you look at it, it is a warm above seasonal, very summer-like day in this mid-spring season. Saturday through Sunday, there's your raininess. I think it'll be rainy Saturday morning. The afternoon cloudy, a high of 27, 27, possible showers Sunday. Back to clear skies and sunny with a high UV. Watch out for that. Near 30 degrees for much of next week, and the lows are in the mid to upper teens. It is still pretty good forecast overall. Let's look at your weather.
The federal government has unveiled a new plan for artificial intelligence, providing a roadmap for regulation and implementation. The Prime Minister says there's potential for massive economic growth and job creation, but there's also unanswered questions specifically when it comes to security. CTV's Mike LeCouture reports.
So this is an AI-driven product. Artificial intelligence is becoming the norm in a growing number of products and places. It's why the federal government released its strategy to harness the technology while also placing safeguards around it.
That's AI governed by Canadian values. AI that is accountable to Canadians. AI that serves all Canadians.
The broad goals of the plan are to boost AI use in businesses from 12% today to 60% by the year 2034, to build a world-leading supercomputer in order to increase Canada's sovereign infrastructure in 5 years, and to give all Canadians access to free AI literacy training.
Under our strategy, the government will introduce new legislation, regulations and standards to protect your data, your privacy, your children.
So far, there are no timelines for those safeguards. Experts are also concerned about maintaining our digital sovereignty through Canadian-owned and managed data centers and clouds. And some say the government needs to think bigger than this current plan.
850 megawatts, right? That was the proposed scale by 2030 of the sovereign kind of infrastructure build they're looking at. That's less than 1/50th of what the private sector in the United States is expected to have online in 2 years.
There's also a concern over how AI could affect jobs in this country. One estimate from the Conference Board of Canada would see 535,000 jobs created by the year 2045 as a result of AI. But that would be offset by a short-term loss of 555,000 jobs by 2030.
We know that AI targets those jobs, particularly of young people, the ones that are getting into the market. So we've got to make sure that we give them the tools required to overcome that.
The Minister of AI, Evan Solomon, pointed to a Bank of Canada study on the impact of AI, underlining it has not seen any significant job losses yet. But the bank notes that could change as AI use accelerates in this country. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
As many Canadians continue to shun travel to the United States, they're choosing European destinations instead. But if you're flying overseas this summer, you should expect delays. CTV's Pat Foran explains why.
Europe is a favorite destination for travel, and this summer will be even busier than usual. Bookings to Italy, Ireland, Greece, Switzerland, and Spain are all up substantially over last year. A video of the Lisbon airport in Portugal a week ago went viral when it showed lineups that were hours long.
It is quite honestly astonishing and testimony to just what a disaster these new EES rules are.
Canadians shouldn't be worried. They should be prepared.
Flight Centre is trying to warn Canadians that because of the new entry-exit system in Europe, they may face delays.
They will now have their fingerprints and photos taken digitally, and it essentially will replace the old passport stamp that we're used to on our passports.
Travel experts say if you're flying in or out of European destinations, you'll need to budget hours of extra time at airports.
It's always crazy during this time of year, but then you add in that new entry-exit system and gathering all of those new biometrics, and it is just taking people a lot longer.
And it's not just flying, it's any mode of transportation in or out of Europe.
It's affecting all border crossings in any form, whether it's by cruise ship or by land or by airports.
Recommendations if you're traveling to Europe: arrive much earlier, especially for intra-Europe flights. Keep passports and travel documents easily accessible. Monitor airline apps for updates. Consider flexible fares where possible, and register with Canada's Registration of Canadians Abroad Service. While the new system is expected to make travel faster in the future, for now there will be growing pains as the system rolls out.
I would be making sure that I build in some extra time at any of those European airports.
Experts say don't let the Lisbon airport video worry you too much, as it's known to have some of the longest lineups of any European airports, and others should be much better. Pat Foran, CTV News.
A new report from Canada's budget watchdog projects the country's deficit will double over the last fiscal year. The outlook from the parliamentary budget officer predicts a deficit of $72 billion for the year 2025-26, up from $36.3 billion. It's expected to drop back to about $58 billion for 2030 to 31. The report also predicts the Bank of Canada will hold its key interest rate at 2.25% this year, but if pressures from the Iran war ease, it says the rate could rise to 2.75% in 2027. Strength in the financial sector boosted Canada's main stock index today. In Toronto, the TSX gained 416 points. In New York, the Dow added 875, the Nasdaq lost 23. The Canadian dollar is down 0.07 On commodity markets, gold gained $38 an ounce and oil fell almost $3 a barrel. There are questions tonight around the high cost of security for World Cup matches in Vancouver, with the police price tag per game significantly higher than Toronto or Seattle. As CTV's Isabella Zavaris tells us, the BC government has not been able to offer an answer about the increased cost.
How much does it cost to keep 350,000 soccer fans safe? In Vancouver, about $242 million for 7 games.
FIFA then is going to make sure that there is spending on protecting the image of their product as well. Now, their product is the World Cup.
But safety spending seems to differ depending on the location. Toronto is hosting 6 matches and is on the hook for about $94 million.
This is a direct investment in the safety of everyone who will be participating and watching the games.
As to why Vancouver's costs might be so high, economist Moshe Lander believes it could be due to where BC Place is located.
Downtown is jam-packed with businesses, high-rise residential. There's highways that run right through the middle of that area, and BC Place is kind of wedged right into all of that activity.
The Vancouver Police Department is leading security for the tournament. Neither the province nor VPD will tell us how much money it's receiving. Toronto police are gaining $66 million, while $8.6 million USD, about 12 million Canadian, is going to the Seattle Police Department.
Operational overtime was one of the projects we put in for. So we worked very diligently to find a meaningful mix, again, of using on-duty resources to the best of our ability.
The province says it is being transparent.
There's no jurisdiction that's hosting a World Cup right now that is releasing the detailed information that is being released by the province of British Columbia.
But the government remains tight-lipped on these details. CTV News pressed the Public Safety Ministry on how the $242 million is being spent. They say it's going to policing, fire, paramedic, and emergency management response, and that final costs will be available after the games.
The lack of transparency might be merely to buy them time, and especially as the game gets closer, one thing that we see in every host city is that people start focusing less and less on the technical aspects, and they start focusing more and more on the game aspect.
And with only 10 days until the first match at BC Place, the province may be betting that once the first whistle blows, questions about this bill will fade into the background. Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
Meantime, Vancouver is ready to welcome the world with a world record. CTV's Shannon Patterson explains.
The largest Canadian flag ever produced was installed on the Cut on Grouse Mountain Tuesday afternoon.
We were looking at something that, showcased our Canadian pride as the World Cup came to Vancouver.
We were originally planning on putting the flag horizontally across so that it could face the city, and then he said, just out of curiosity, what would it take to break the world record?
When Grouse learned there was a chance to break the Guinness World Record for largest flag unfurled on a mountain,
we made it 160 by 80 meters, and the flag is so big that we had to tilt it up onto its side just to fit onto the Cut.
Producing a flag this big is no easy task.
It was 20 days of printing it nonstop. It's 60 panels, and then we had to sew all of the panels together.
100 people helped install the giant flag, which is held in place with airplane cables and a dozen solid concrete blocks.
We carried it down the lengthwise of the hill, attached it to the cable, and then the whole team pulled it out at once. It was actually a remarkably smooth installation process.
I just saw it from my plane when I arrived yesterday, so was my first step to confirm this is the largest flag unfurled on a mountain.
After taking exact measurements, on Wednesday, a Guinness World Record adjudicator made it official.
Now you are officially amazing.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much,
Congratulations.
Susan. I cannot believe this.
You made it. This is a new record title.
I grew up on Grouse Mountain. I've been coming up here since I was a tiny little kid. To get this opportunity to do this for our city during the FIFA World Cup while the world's eyes are on our beautiful city means everything to me.
The flag will remain in place at least through Canada Day.
When the flag is removed from Grouse Mountain, the material will not go to waste. It's being donated to charity.
And they make quilts and bags as well, so we'll donate the material to them.
And they'll make something out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the legacy continues.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, North Vancouver.
Serena Williams has chosen to partner with a young Canadian star in her return to tennis. 19-year-old Victoria Mboko posted this photo today saying the Queen is back. Mboko and Williams will play in the women's doubles event at an event in the UK. Mboko is currently ranked 9th in the world in singles and says Williams is her idol. Williams announced her return to the court earlier this week at the age of 44. She has won 14 Grand Slam double titles over her career. With more now on the rain that is on the way, Gary joins us with his exclusive 7-day forecast.
I'm actually looking forward to some rain because, well, we haven't had a lot of it. My garden's green. It's looking good, but I've been watering it. And the rain, obviously, from storms would be a much more efficient way of dealing with watering the plants, lawn, the backyard, etc. The temperatures are still quite warm, but the humidity values are low. That's why 31 feels like about 31 tomorrow. Will be warm and, relatively speaking, comfortable. Showers for the weekend, especially late Friday night and Saturday morning. Possible second wave for Sunday. Temperatures in the mid to upper 20s, and then an average temperature of about 29, 30. For Windsor-Essex, Chatham-Kent, as we're in and out of some cloud cover and maybe even a shower through the midweek next week. All in all, we are still, over the next 7 days, above seasonal, high UV when the sun's out during peak times in the afternoon, and we get some rain, much needed after a long wait. Have yourselves a good night. Stefanie?
A new piece of merchandise from the popular streaming show Heated Rivalry has already sold out.
So tonight we can do the men's short form figure skating? Or? My buddy Joe's in that program. We'll train together.
Pre-sales began yesterday for a Canadian fleece jacket worn by one of the main characters. It's retailing for $356. Officials with the show say 10% of proceeds will support the You Can Play organization aimed at addressing homophobia and other forms of discrimination in hockey. That is your news for tonight. Thank you for joining us. See you right back here tomorrow night.